Hello YouTube, Ronin Kazi. Got some Element gaming footage for you, playing WoW. On my other channel, Ronin Kazi, I let everyone know that my sons were going to start playing. They want to play a game with me. We're going to play WoW. I'm leveling up what's called a Shadow Priest. So for someone that plays Division 2 or Ghost Recon Breakpoint, a game like this, a traditional MMORPG, seems really different. In reality, right, the only thing different is that the graphics are a little bit different and the gameplay is close to being the same. I'm going to tell you one of the big differences between WoW and something like the Division 2 or any game. WoW is a tabbed-based targeting game. That is, you hit your tab key and it targets an enemy, and then you do a different variety of skills against that enemy. So in this case, there's not a lot of skill in shooting a bow and arrow or something. It's not that you have to be directly on the character. You're going to watch me right now. I target this guy. He's level 35, and I'm like level 17 or something, so I'm going to get smoked. Now, before I realize, see how fast my health's going down, boom, I'm dead. So tab targeting, I target someone and I do a skill. In something like the Division 2, I'm aiming at someone doing it. You would think that it's easier, but what happens then is the targeting isn't the whole point, isn't the skill. It's picking the right skills or the right things you can do to the enemy, which become important. Everything's on a cooldown, so there's a certain sequence of order. And especially in a game like WoW, when you get up to the rating level, people are very serious about your DPS and all that stuff. So much so that in the Division, you hear me every once in a while whine to you about, hey, you might have a low watch level. In a game like WoW, it's a very mature game. They will absolutely light your ass up for all your, I'm trying to find out what level these guys are. They will light you up for coming in and not knowing how to play your character or not being geared for your level and all that kind of stuff. And you'll join a guild or a clan. They're called guilds in WoW. You'll join those and they'll help you level up and they'll expect you to learn how to play. And so also in WoW, it's a game type where there's dedicated healers, dedicated tanks, there's ranged damage, and there is melee damage. And there's a lot of theory crafting. If you've been on my other channel, you'll see I attempt to do that sometimes with the Division, where I'll play side by side to see who does more damage. In WoW, it's theory crafted up the wazoo. Again, very mature game and very there's a lot of depth to it in that respect. It seems cartoonish in the beginning. I want to let you also know where this game kind of came from. Back in the early times of gaming, there was like EverQuest. There was a game called Azran's Call. I forget the one that was more isometric based, but it was a lot of PvP. And these games were based, Star Wars Galaxy was again, these games were based on some type of Tolkien universe. There's even a Lords of the Ring game out there. And there's Dungeons and Dragons. Roxy, I will squirt the living bejesus out of you. There's some squirt. And so what WoW was different about WoW, it wasn't knights and fairies and halflings and all that. It was a whole different universe. And then in that, there's a whole different lore. So Tolkien games or traditional games harken back to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and those kind of games. And this was there's a whole brand new universe with this WoW. And so for some people, that's what made this game kind of cool also. And so right now, I'm leveling up this Shadow Priest. And another thing I've told you about, in the Division 2, I like to have the Ridgeway breastplate plate because that gives you health back. And this Shadow Priest, one of the skills I'm putting on people is a vampiric skill that is going to give me health back. So this is where this comes from. A lot of these games have some type of vampiric skill or life leeching skill where you get health back when you're doing this. And this is, for me, this is one of the, in every single game, I'm looking for this type of gameplay. How can I damage you and heal myself at the same time? And these games also have professions. I'm a herbalist, so I pick flowers. You get XP for that. And I'm a skinner, so I'll skin these for leather. I could have been a leather maker, so I could have skinned this stuff, then turned around and made it into leather. The other big thing in a game like this is to make gold or cash, because you have to buy things. And if you're just into economics, you know, there's a lot of intricacies in the auction house because it's like real life. You'll have people post stuff at a certain price and you can undercut them, and you may try to dominate a market. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone in the game like WoW. They even have, like, if you like Pokemon or games like that, they even have a battle pet system that they've released. Again, the game's been around, I think, from 2008 or 2006. I don't remember and I don't care. But it's been around a long time. It's very fleshed out. It's so fleshed out that they went back and made a game called Classic, which is the precursor to this game, because this game has evolved so much. Classics for people that don't want it to evolve. It was shitty and slow to level, so I didn't like Classic. My one son played Classic. I didn't want to do it for the longest, but eventually they're both over 25 now, and they wanted to play something, so I gave in and said, I'll do whatever. And then recently the son that played Classic said, oh, I'll play this other one too, because it's so hard to level. So you see, I'm having no problem with this character. It's overpowered at this level. The other thing that these games realized is that people would play these games all the time. So what they did to help kind of mitigate that, they would give you rested XP bonus. So you could get like double the XP if you just took your character and logged out, and you logged it out in a safe spot. You would gain this rested XP bonus. And so that's why I'm leveling so fast, because I haven't played in a long time and they have a bunch of rested XP. Well, to defeat that kind of system, a person like me would make a lot of alts, so I could constantly have people on a bunch of rested XP, and then I would put someone away. And this guy could supply leather and flowers to someone else. So there's a whole kind of strategy. The game can be as little as or as much as you want it. I've been in guilds where people just play the game. Men and women play the same things. They would get on, speaking kind of things, whatever that's called. Look at, I'm showing my age. You'd get voice chat and everything, and you'd do all that stuff, and you'd run dungeons and everything. Same thing in modern games. And WoW wasn't the first to do all this. It's just kind of the most popular. And recently, I think of January 23rd, China lost a bunch of they lost access to WoW. So a long time ago, there was Chinese gold farmers. So people would you would get in this game and you could buy gold, because to get some of the more rarer things, you wouldn't have time to play it. So you'd buy gold from someone in the game with real US dollars, and then you would buy your stuff on the auction house or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff with WoW. There's too much to do in one video, but I'm leveling this character. I have a bunch of different characters on a bunch of different servers. This class of character, the Shadow Priest, I don't have any. I never had a priest up to the highest level. Normally I play shaman or a druid. I play classes that can heal and that can maybe tank or do a bunch of everything. And if you've gone to the other channel, you've certainly realized that this is a thing that I'm always trying to do, is have this versatility. And so at this point, I'm getting used to play the character, and you see I'm robust enough that I can take on 2 or 3 different enemies at once. And these are called damage over times. A lot of the skills, if you look at my bar, the first 2 skills are damage over time. One is instantly cast, and the other takes a little bit. So number 2 takes maybe 2 seconds to cast. So I'll do that one first, and then I'll hit the instant one. And then the third skill is called a channeled skill. It will put out a blue light, and that keeps going for like 4 seconds, does continuous damage, ticks like once every 4 seconds, so you get 4 ticks. And as you get higher and people more your level, they can interrupt that. So there's some different things. Roxy, stop. So there's quite a bit of things to do. Strategy to the game. It's just different. I don't have a gun or, whatever, and I'm not aiming, but there's all kinds of strategy in this. Another game that's similar to this is Final Fantasy XIV, which is fantastic. It's based off the Final Fantasy kind of universe. That's a really fantastic game. It's a Japanese game, but it's English. It's been around for a long time. That's fantastic. And then if you like Elder Scrolls or any of those, there's an Elder Scrolls Online, and that's a really good game as well. So those are 3 kind of really big games. There's always ones that come up, and every once in a while you'll read in kind of the rags that, MMOs are declining, then they have a resurgent. And, this is a more traditional type of game. Now, there will be other people running around in here, but everyone at this point is probably a lot higher. I don't show it in this video, but I'm in a video where I could show you the reasons that I hate WoW. And maybe I'll save that for another video on this channel. This is late now for me to ask this, but I'm going to start asking this. If you could subscribe, like, maybe hit the notification bell, I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow the channel, but I like making the content. I like talking about the strategy, and I like to find the similarities between games more than the differences. Because a lot of times it's a barrier. I say, well, I don't like that type of game, but the games are pretty similar. If you play something like Diablo, and I eventually played Diablo 3, right, I'm trying to be some type of melee DPS person that can self-heal by hitting someone, right? So I'm trying to do the same gameplay over and over and over. And it won't surprise anyone, straight DPS is never the thing that I'm really thrilled about. So like those classes, I never really play. There's 3 classes like that. There's a rogue class where you can, it's exactly what you think a rogue would do. There's a mage class, exactly what mages do. And then there's a warrior class. It can tank, but mainly DPSs. And so those classes, I never really try to play. Getting close to the end here. I'm going to go in here and smoke this guy because he has plans for a ship that I might have to blow up later. So it's that guy right there. Well met. I'm looking at her. I'm going to right click on this guy, and I'm going to see that I can talk to him or something. I forgot how the quest goes, so I'm looking what the quest does. Apparently not. There. And I'm reading it. I go, okay. I'm abandoning an old quest from a different area that I'm too high for. Sorry, I'm putting you through this. I should have edited this out. Really want to thank everyone for making my main channel. It's just going good. It's never fast enough. But I don't want to cheat. I just want to grow it. I appreciate everyone that likes it. Here, I smoked that guy. Now his buddies are coming and I'm going to kill them. So I appreciate everyone that's helping on the channels. I'm going to probably do a channel or a video this weekend on editing videos and what my game rig is. Probably what my video editing rig and some games on the Steam Deck. I can play this on the Steam Deck. So So part of that is, what's the point? What am I proving to you? If I plug it into a monitor and a keyboard, the Steam Deck is just another computer. So I was like, oh, but I need to show them. Then I said, that's stupid, because that kind of defeats the purpose. There's no unique thing if I'm plugging in a monitor. And that's the benefit of a Steam Deck. It's a computer. So thank you, everyone, again. Appreciate the likes, the shares, the comments, and I'll talk to you soon.
Only deal with the best. Plenty more where that came from.
Do I have a deal for you?